Welcome to the real journey of the entrepreneur. The journey of any entrepreneur begins with a decision, then writing down your vision, then the execution of that vision. It is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who understand how powerful your mind is and that you can truly create the life that you deserve. It does require a unique formula that includes belief in yourself, a lot of consistency, connecting with an OG, a lot of tears, missing out on a few events and things, and taking a whole lot of risks that will allow you to see your vision and dream come to pass. This journey of the entrepreneur is from the perspective of a wonderful mother, a business owner, whose goal is to break generational barriers and normalize the process of wealth building and financial wellness through entrepreneurship, all while creating a social and give back along the way. I am sharing this journey with you and invite you to share this process with me. Let's do this together. Your decisions, but you have to feel comfortable to own it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I will always support you.
Thank you.
Well, hello there, good people. It is so good to see you again. You are back in the seat with myself and a special guest that will allow us to have more insight of what business partnerships and also, this journey of entrepreneurship. As I say, you cannot be a punk and be an entrepreneur. You got to be able to take a deep dive within yourself and really think, is this journey really for me? So, if you had a chance to watch our previous episode with our guests, drop some bombs on us, making sure that we have our operations in order, finances. I know a lot of us may not like to talk about it, but making sure that your finances are in order, specifically if you are a small business, is critical to your success. You cannot overlook that. Not only that, tapping into additional resources like connecting with an OG, right? Someone who does have experience within the game of entrepreneurship and helping to guide you. But also, what did we learn about the importance of having the courage to outsource things that we no longer want to spend time on? Not that we don't want to spend time on it, but we have to really streamline and focus our business and growing it to the next level. So for those type of things, we would hire Primus to be able to support us to be able to meet our next level and our goals. So guess who I have again today? Guess. Janneh has been really gracious enough to share more information about some of the other things that he's doing within his entrepreneurial journey. One of the things that you'll recognize is that as an entrepreneur, there are multiple ways that you should be thinking about your business. Diversifying, what does that look like? Partnerships, what does that look like? Guess what? You're not going to hear all me today. We are going to bring back Janneh, Wright, who is the CEO of Primus, but also he is the head of the, let me not get it wrong again, which is BCD Alliance, right? So look, I make mistakes too, but let me just bring Janneh out before I fumble again. Hey, Janneh, you're on mute. I can't hear you.
Oh, there you go. Is that better?
We are back with Janneh, right, the CEO of BCD Alliance. We had a chance to really unpack what your consulting practice looks like and how you help small businesses to grow and scale and to really manage the operations. However, there is another side of what you do as a business. So do tell. First of all, introduce yourself again for those who are just joining us and want to learn more about this aspect of what you do.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. My name is Janneh Wright. I am the CEO of BCD Alliance, which stands for Business Capacity Development Alliance, and it's a networking organization for Black business owners. It was created, it's a pretty baby as an organization. It was created about 3 years ago, and with just the intent of how do we better pull our resources together? How do we better connect, communicate, share, learn from, teach, and refer business to each other, right? And I think part of the inspiration for BCD Alliance is the research I've been doing for years on Black Wall Street. And there's this concept of, you know, the black dollar can stay in a community for a whole year before leaving, right? And that's the concept of Black Wall Street. Let's make it longer. Let's make it 5 years. Let's make it 10 years. And so BCDA was really designed in a way to help us be able to work with each other. I think one of the clearest things that people learn about being an entrepreneur, it's one of the most lonely jobs that you'll ever have. It's one of the most pressurized jobs you ever have, because not only are you alone in the business, but every question, every answer, every single idea that comes to your brain or comes for the business comes from you. When you join an organization like BCD Alliance, you now have colleagues, right? You have colleagues across the country, across the world. You can ask for experience from, ask their knowledge and access to whatever they have been through to help you not feel that loneliness and not feel that siloness. So that's what we created this to be able to do.
And so I wanna jump into that, because when you think of, we're having a conversation and your target is Black businesses,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
And so when we think about from a historical perspective, how do we help to heal some of those relationships? Meaning, you always hear about, oh, we can't do business with one another, all the naysaying, the negative, like all the stuff that when I came in to entrepreneurship, I'm like, oh, that's not really true, right? It's not
Yeah.
true. It's really not true. Black businesses are doing some really dope and amazing things. How do we normalize the conversation or normalize the process of working with other Black businesses from your perspective?
So I'll tell you, one of the reasons that this company started was that annoying joke that I heard, right? The joke was, how do you know you're in an authentic Caribbean restaurant? Because you got cursed out by the owner, right? The myths about who we are, and literally the reason I wrote that book is like the myths of who we are have been widespread. And in most myths, there is the reality of what happens, and then the conversation everyone is having, right? And the same kind of terminology, squeaky wheel gets the oil. The conversation everybody's having is the one everybody keeps perpetuating. We as business owners, and that's part of this, right? We as business owners need to start being louder, right?
Mm.
Not in reality, not literally, but we need to start being louder. We need to start understanding and showing everybody else, because I'm a business owner, Anita's a business owner. You know I'm professional. You know my price is right. You know what I do is always going to be on point, and I know the same about you. But we don't tell anybody about that, right?
Mm.
So people who are making the jokes and cracking all the myths and saying all these things are much louder than us. And by the way, those people don't run businesses, right? They've never started a business in their life. They haven't done any of that information. But we, the ones who have, look at them like, I ain't got time for this. Let me move on. I want to stop that. I want us to start. That's not true. Like Anita just said, stand up like, that's not true. I work with several business owners right now, right? And one of the ways that we're going to do that is leadership is defined by us, right? As a business owner, you are a leader. People are looking at you as the person who to take examples from. So the question you ask yourself is, how many Black businesses have you used in your company? How much of your money goes to a Black business? How many times when you need something do you pick up the phone and say, hey, I know a company who could do this. They're a Black owner. Let me call them first. How many times do you do that? How many times do you go to that store in your neighborhood before you get in your car and drive to Walmart? Leadership starts with us. And if we're out there telling people and showing people that Black businesses are here, we're strong, we need your support, because if you need, like the one complaint I always hear, oh, we're too expensive. Well, let me give you two examples, right? Let me give you one example. If I only have 50 clients, my price is going to match. If I have 50,000 clients, my price is going to match. So while you're spending all your resources going to Walmart instead of supporting that company, they have to feed their family and pay for those expenses, so their price is going to match. So as a business owner, my job as a Black business owner, my job is that 56% of the money that I spend out on consultants and on supplies goes to another Black business, because I want them to do the same thing. And that's how that's going to happen. Because if I'm doing it in my business, I'm telling my friends in my personal life about these great businesses I'm working with to get them to also support. So we have to take leadership of that role. We have to, as a Black business owners, all 9 million of us have to take leadership in this situation to completely squash that myth that we can't work with each other. We don't have the right professionalism or business mentality.
So I want to add on to that because I personally prioritize doing business with those that look like me. That is a priority. It is a priority for me because I understand that there's some barriers that we have to bust through. And so if I'm at a stage where I can't immediately reach my hand and pull back and pull up, that means I'm not doing my job. I don't care who, what, where it is. And the thing I always say is that, it's funny that you mentioned about pricing, but I go, but wait a minute, you all will support very high end or actively report promoting very high end or stand, and support these businesses, large big box stores such as the Walmarts and and all those organizations,
Mhm.
but not willing to reinvest into a small business. That's very disheartening
It is.
because if you don't like the product, you'll take it back. But guess what you'll do? You'll take that money that you got refunded to your card or in cash, and you'll turn right back in around in the store and go and spend again.
Yes.
So thinking about how I personally prioritize, I am intentional. I'm really intentional about doing that. And so even if we make a mistake, guess what? I make mistakes too. Trust me.
Yes.
And I'm going to continue to do business with and prioritize those that are in business and starting up and looking like me. So,
Yeah, that's exactly it. And neither of us are saying that you have to only buy from Black business, right? The
mhm.
question is, how much are you supporting? You're a business owner. Think about how much support you want and how much are you giving up, right? We have to start being really reciprocal about how we like. I would say, you hear people scream at top of the lungs, buy Black, buy Black. I at this point think it's waterworks, right? It's just complete lip service. No one is really intentional about it. Like, we're in November. Yesterday or last week was Black Friday. Where did you go? Where did you go? They just
Where did I go? I actually didn't go anywhere.
I mean, like where do people go shop, right? People went to shop at those big box
Yeah,
stores
they did.
when the next day is Small Business Saturday. Where did they go? They still didn't. It's disheartening in a lot of ways when you see us stand up and talk about the Black Lives Matter, the support our community, but there's businesses in your community that can support you even harder. Go to them, give them, and it's not always all about money as well, right? They have a post, like it. If I had a family reunion a couple years ago, and I straight up told my family, if I don't see a like from you this year, we have a problem, right? And that's the reality. Like, you are family, support your family, send it out. You're in the community, support the community, like something they post, be active in the destruction of the myth of who we are. Grow our businesses, because there is absolutely a direct connection between between businesses, period, and the community, right? The better the business community is, the better the community itself is. So if you're in an area where you want to see that community get better, support the businesses in that community, and you'll watch the revenues from those businesses trickle out into the community at the same time. So being able to support whatever you want to support, understand, if you're going to scream buy Black, then actually do it.
And it's not that difficult.
It's not. We're everywhere.
It's not that difficult.
Our businesses are everywhere.
So social media makes it a lot more easier to discover Black-owned businesses and to be
Yes.
able to really support and deepening the support. There's five things, and I can tell you automatically. You just mentioned like, right, a post. I'm saying share,
Hmm.
their content, because it's a matter of just hitting a button now. And the truth is, a lot of us are on social media, so you can't really say, "Oh, I didn't see it," or maybe you don't
Yeah.
want to see it, but you are supporting folks that you really don't know, except, especially the ones that you do know.
Yeah.
that are actually in business. But the other responsibility on us as business owners is to really tell folks what we do on a consistent basis.
Yes.
I know that when I first started my business, I was doing it in secret. I have no idea why, right? I don't know what that was about. Um, I just didn't like actively promote it because I don't know. I had a baby, we had baby showers, I had, all this other stuff happening. Folks get married, you're promoting it. When we start a business, it's like, we
Yeah.
don't want to say
Yeah.
anything.
I think it's fair, right? I think it's fair of failure,
Mm,
right? And like you said, to do this, you can't be a punk.
mm,
It's fear of failure, right? Like you tell everybody in the world that you're doing something and you feel it, you're scared that that's going to happen.
mm.
The reverse to that is I tell everybody in the world what I intend to do because now I'm scared to not do it and I push myself even harder, right? So it's a lot of times because I did the same thing when I started Primus. No one knew it existed, and nobody knew. Like Mike, I had clients, I was making money, but nobody in my immediate community knew that Primus was actually a thing. Now it's like I'll talk about it all the time because it's part of me. It's who I am. And as you said, we need to understand all of the industries that we're in, and there is a lot, right? And but we don't know all of them, so we don't really we see the one or two dots and really think that's it. It's a lot. We're in almost every single industry you can think of, but we're not supporting or screaming it at the top of our lungs that we're here so that people can be there to support us.
And so with us as a tag team, we're going to start the process of making sure that they know that doing business with Black owners is good business, period.
Correct. Correct.
And
Correct.
so,
I have never been a person like, oh, it's a black business and they screwed up. Oh, give them another chance. No, it's a business. You treat it like any other business. Just give us the ability to be in that room to get that business. Don't automatically assume that because it's a black business, it's going to be less quality or less professional. Assume the opposite, right? Because we grew up in the mentality that if we want to be equal, we got to be 150% better.
mm,
Our businesses are exactly we treat our business the exact same way. I'm trying to compete with an Ernst and Young who has $1 million budget for dinner. I gotta be 100 times better every time they go outside to do what I have to do. So you can get a lot more from my company than you will from a large organization.
right, that personal touch of client service. So, which leads me into, another question about what are the checkpoints that you use to collaborate with another small business?
So I think checkpoints happen naturally, right? You in this like this dialogue between me and you, it's conversations, right? I need to understand what is it you're looking for, right? You need to understand what is I'm looking for. And when you find that connection, right, hold on to it, right? Make sure that you're sending them a message every month. Make sure you have a event happening. Invite the person. That person has an event. You want to post it, right? You want to share it. So those collaborations is all about networking. It's one of the bad words in our community, but networking is essential for the success of our businesses and our community. So when you have a conversation with someone, take notes, right? Write down the things that they're looking for. And as you're doing business on a day-to-day basis, you start to think about them. And that's part of why we created BCDA, right? So in conversations inside of the closed networks, it's not on Facebook, it's not a Facebook group, it's a closed network. So as you're having conversations with people inside there, there's a space for you to write down the referrals that you need for your business to grow. There's a space to write down who you're looking to meet. So that way, everyone in the organization, in the community, can now be a referral source for you, can now be a connector for you. And that's what we need to happen, right? Like, I want to be able to connect Anita with a business in California that can use her services. That way, it starts to expand her reach, right? Anita wants to connect me with every business she has in Florida, so it expands my reach. And as long as we're staying in our smaller silos instead of thinking across borders, we're going to stay in the same position. So I want us to really be able to use that mentality of we're going to connect and network with as many business owners across the country and across the world as possible, because that's going to be the long-term effect of how do you really make those connections to grow your business.
Now, how does one become a member of BCDA?
So right now it's a very simple process. It there's right now there's no membership fee. You just go to the website, BCDA bcdalliance.org, and you sign up. It'll ask a bunch of questions. We are very much a matrix driven organization. So we're asking questions so we can gauge and assess how we're doing against the success of our businesses, right? One of the things that we are really interested in is the idea of we want the collective of all of our businesses to be $1 billion of revenue, right? So every business inside BCDA, out of all the revenue come together, is $1 billion. And there's several reasons for that. Reason one, the most important one to me, if we have $1 billion circulating in that community, that means we're all making more money, right? That's an easy one. But part two is you now have $1 billion of power behind your voice, right? As a group, we can now talk to representatives. As a group, we can now talk to politicians because once they hear the value of this community, their ears start to itch and start to perk up. They want to hear and understand everything because they don't want us to go against them. So those kind of things is what we're trying to accomplish, right? So the first part, the most important part, is if we as a community can really refer and share businesses within $1 billion worth of revenue, that's a game changer for your business. And the second part, I said, it's all about having the resources and the connections that that kind of value brings together.
And so it's just it's this is so refreshing because you are making some great points about shifting how we think, but also thinking about building capital in relationships. I think that um just thinking about my process, I appreciate everybody who I come in contact with. I come from the school of thought where I worked in financial services. I used to work late, and the janitor put me on to some information. No, now let me explain to you how valuable had I been like a real like nasty person or like, just condescending, oh, you're just a janitor or you're just a like, cleaning person. I wouldn't have known that there was a couple of people that was getting an axe and I wasn't one of the people on that list because guess what? They stick around, they know all the meetings, they're inside, like they are around late. So it's certain things that those individuals know that if you can build relationship, not that I knew that that's what it was generally like, hey, I'm here late. Oh, you here working late? Yup. And you start to build relationship. Even to
Yeah,
this day, I still maintain those same relationships because people don't stay in the same spot forever. Are you
exactly,
kidding me?
exactly, exactly. It's a beautiful thing when you build relationship with people, and it's not and not build it on on the intent of like getting something from it, but just
Right.
be a good person. Just be a good person, right? Those kind of things come back to you, right? Is the what's that thing? The put it out in the universe, right? You put your spirit and your value and ethics out in the universe, it will come back to you. Whether it's for your business, for your career, for your family members, it will always come back to you, right? And that's what I love. Like I have my grandmother who's passed away.
Mm.
The one thing I always did in my community as I was growing up, I would help everybody's grandmother, no matter what. I'll see them walking on the street, I'll grab their bags, walk them home. I'll pick them up from the bus station, drive them home. People always ask me why I do that, because the reality is, if somebody sees something happen to my grandmother in the street, they'll do the same thing because they know I would have did it for them, right? So you're putting good vibes into the world just by being a good person, understanding that you put these in the world, come back to you. And it's the same thing in business. You put those vibes out in the world. The I know people think the nasty person always makes the most money. Initially, yeah, sometimes they do make more money up front, but karma will catch them. Karma will come, and all of a sudden, it's gonna be a problem. So you be you, honor and hone your values, and treat everybody kindly, and it will come back to you.
And build relationships,
Yes.
not for what or who, but being intentional just by good nature. I mean, that's the vibe I want to give,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you know,
Exactly.
yeah, that's the vibe that I want, putting great and positive energy out and still making a living. And again, and I want to throw this other question in there about measuring success, right? In terms of like small businesses. I personally for myself just want, yes, I do want to make a couple of million, but I don't want it to be to the point where um, that's what I'm driving for.
Yep.
I want to make sure that, I have a stable environment, stable home, stable place. My bills are paid, the bills that I create, because if you don't create, you don't have bills. That's the truth. That's the truth. But how do you define success for yourself? And like, for those who are coming, well, not really for those who are coming, because each individual, I believe, comes with their own idea of what their success looks
Yep.
like. So within BCD Alliance, what does that look like for success for yourself and for the overall organization?
Sure. So the way I define success is part of the game plan that I have, right? A couple years ago, I learned this one very important truth about business owners and what separates us from others, right? What separates really good business owners. The idea of what is your exit strategy, right? Where do you want to see your business when you retire and gone? What exactly is strategy? Are you trying to sell it? Are you trying to pass it on to your kids? Are you trying to just walk away from it, right? What exactly is it that you want to do? Once you figure that out, figure out how much time you have, and then you start working backwards from there, right? And that's how you can end up defining what the success is in the long run, in the short run, and even next year. So creating those kind of goals and those kind of strategy really helps you understand what is successful to you. For BCDA, it's going to be $1 billion collective revenue, right? At the end of this, when I'm no longer the CEO of the company, I'm going to hand over a company that has $1 billion worth of revenue with all its members. It's going to be over 20,000 organizations inside of BCDA. And each one of those organizations, we're going to help them hire 2 people each. Would help them grow their business to the position where they can actually hire 2 people. That means there's 40,000 individuals who will be working for BCDA members, right? And then the idea of each member as a collective, we're going to try to pass at least 12,000 referrals every single year, right? These aren't just things I pull out the air, right? These are things that I'm looking at as different matrix of where I want to see and how I want to see this business be when I'm ready to walk away from it, right?
Mhm.
The employee thing is because our businesses don't hire, right? Our businesses are solopreneurs, and that is a detriment to us. And I want to see that grow up. So I want to make sure that we're doing everything we have to be able to get to that part. So now that I have those as my matrix, the question is now, how do I create the game plan to make sure I hit each one of those, right? So the 20,000 businesses, easy. I come on shows with Anita and talk about BCDA, people join. How do I get them to hire more people? We have a financial part where we actually have an active employee who's going to be calling you and asking you what's going on, how are things going, what do you need for your business. So it's not just a loose connected bunch of groups, it's actually an actively pushing you to help you get to that business level you want, creating that budget, creating that quarterly plans, and really trying to help you grow your business so you can hire. So this is all about, you start with what is that exit plan, right? Figure that out. Figure out what it is that you want to be when you're done, and then how much time you have till that point, and then create different buckets of goals that you have and start working through those goals to get to that plan. So for me, success is when I hit that point and I've accomplished all of that, I'm good. I've been successful. And that's the same thing we're going to teach and train every member in our community of like, let's talk through this plan. Let's define it, let's create it, and then you can figure out your own level of success of what that looks like to your business.
So I'm telling you, if y'all not taking notes, I don't know what else to tell you. You are missing out, because here's what I see, right? So you have a clear vision as to what BCDA is going to be in the
Yeah,
future, right? You now have, a plan, right? You have a vision and you have a plan of action as to how, you are going to accomplish that. That's part of long-term thinking in your business, folks. Like, if you are not continually and striving and being intentional about your long-term goals, then you have a hobby. You have a hobby. Mhm.
facts. Yes.
So we came here not to play any games with you, but to be able to provide you with resources and connecting. So I'm gonna just share um, BCD Alliance information there on You can check out the website, follow them on Instagram. And again, and we talked about some really simple ways. But also, guess what? Janneh said the membership is free. Like, so right now, there's no real reason why you should not be connecting with
Correct.
a business network that can help you to grow and scale. And it looks different because I've been a part of trade associations, and I have to tell you, some of them, yeah, mm, they really need to rethink how they are engaging small businesses,
Yeah.
um, entrepreneurs, um, just general individuals who just may be looking to connect. It looks different here, folks. So join. Say that Anita sent you. Mm,
Please do.
That's it. Just join. And so I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I like to close out the show with like some rapid one word questions. Um, it's gonna be fun. So
Okay.
ready?
Yes.
Your favorite borough.
Brooklyn.
Okay, you said it with like an attitude. Like
I'm from Brooklyn. That's what I do it.
everybody who I and they from Brooklyn, they be like, "How dare you?" Like, what you? What a person is that?
Exactly.
Who are you? What do you do in your downtime? If you are intentional about your downtime,
Hang out with my daughters.
how do you manage entrepreneurship and being a dad?
It's hard. But my daughters, that's all they've ever known for me being home and working. So I actually have I have my door to my office is glass, so you can see through it. So I have a something that they found in my office with a letter J on it. So they know if it's on my desk, they can't come in. If it's not on my desk, they can come in and play all they want. And they created that, not me. That was them.
That's amazing. I need that. I need that tip. um, so do you have a preference of pizzas or burgers?
Burgers. Now it's
Smoothies or ice cream?
smoothies.
In 3 years, what will change within your community? It could be the business community, your community where you reside, however you want to answer that.
There's going to be a lot more businesses. There's going to be a lot more successful Black-owned businesses in our community.
What is a legacy that you would like to leave your family?
I think entrepreneurship. I think I am probably the fifth entrepreneur in my entire extended family. So I think entrepreneurship on a different level will be that legacy of being self-sufficient and connected to everyone else in our community.
And on that note, join BCDA Alliance. Membership is free. Janneh, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to do a part two. That means that we're gonna have you come back again and
Anytime.
again to be able to share, any business updates and also to think about any other thing that we can do to support. So I want to thank you so much for joining. Please stay tuned for more content, but make sure that you check out BCDA Alliance. Website is there, bcdalliance.org. They are on Facebook, Instagram, and be able to connect. So thank you so much, and I look forward to talking with you again soon.
Thank you.
So again, folks, great interview, good information, a way that you can connect with another organization that can provide you next level of success. But I won't leave you hanging. I got some more resources for you. Um, Verizon has small business. They have an opportunity for you can support, you can get inclusion, you can get small business training through Verizon. They have that information for you. Wanted to also plug that iFund Women has a number of opportunities for you to be able to connect. So you could definitely connect with iFund Women. If you're looking for capital resources funding, truefund.org is another way that you can get in resources. And then last but not least, the Brooklyn Accelerate Loan Fund. Again, we all need places where we can start to get resources to be able to connect and move to our next level. But also, I know that there are those who are looking for coaches. If you are interested in connecting with Janneh, he is a business consultant. You can definitely check him out at jannehwright.com. But also, shameless plug, but not really. You could book me through Score. I am a Score mentor through Score. There is no charge. You may have to wait because I do have selected days in which I book through Score, but happy to support you on your business journey. And yes, I do tell the truth about your business. So, on that note, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be able to join. Stay tuned for more community announcements. Actually, BCDA has a few upcoming events. They have a mastermind that's happening in January. And guess what? You should attend. Membership is free. Take good care. Stay safe. Thank you for joining.